everybody, it's me, Nina. Today I had a few questions from my youngest sister, and she was asking about the broody hen. And I thought, maybe some of you would also like to know about, what goes on and how they act, and if it is just nature taking over. So I thought, let's go ahead and share information, and even if you don't have chickens, might be something that you're interested in, or maybe you're actually looking for information about a broody hen because you have one or you're interested in getting chickens. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I like to say that this is actually our very first broody hen we have ever had. And I will say that when we started wanting to get chickens, we wanted chickens just for eggs. We didn't want meat birds, and we didn't want to breed chickens to sell. We just mostly wanted them for eggs for family and friends. So we looked into what type of chickens to get. Now there's tons of information on the internet, and the very first chickens that we got were Rhode Island Reds, because I had read that they can also be used as a meat bird and as an egg layer. So in my thought at the time, I thought, wow, if the grid would go down, we would want something that we would also be able to eat if we had to. But I did think in the long run, what if? And that was one reason that we chose the Rhode Island Reds. But we had no desire of getting a rooster, and so therefore when we looked at chickens to get, we chose the Rhode Island Reds because they don't go broody hardly ever, because it's actually been bred out of them. They have been bred to be egg layers mostly, and they do lay brown eggs. We actually have been very fortunate, and even though we don't use extra light in the winter, which would make them lay more eggs, we don't use the extra lighting. We just let nature take its course, and we still yet are blessed with eggs throughout the winter. Not quite as many as, of course, in the summertime, but we do get eggs every day from some of the Rhode Island Reds. So then that was our first year. Actually, we have a playlist that I will try my best to attach up to the top up here somewhere, and it's all about chickens. It's our chickens, the very first chickens we ever got, from the time that they were tiny babies from the store, and then up until now even. You'll still see our Rhode Island Reds. I think they are 2 years old this year, if I'm not mistaken. And then last spring, we bought some different types of chicks from the store. We got 2 of the Buff Orpingtons, and I had done a lot of study on the chickens that we had gotten. 2 of them ended up being roosters, and so we gave those to a friend of mine that lives way out in the country, and she was looking for some roosters. So they got a good home. But we were still not wanting any roosters. We were not looking for, having our own eggs. We just thought, well, every year we would buy just a few little chicks from the store. Well, things changed on their own without any say-so from us. Our neighbor that lives down below us and got really sick and decided that he was giving all of his chickens to his sister. And they could not catch Romeo, which is what his name is now. Thanks, Eileen. But anyway, Romeo came around our house and just kept staying right by the chicken's run. At the time, we had the 7 smaller chicks that are grown now, and he loved them. He would stay right by their little coop. So it was probably went on for like a week or 2, and we didn't know about our neighbor at that time. Well, one day his wife came up, and she had a big fishing net with her 2 grandchildren, and asked us about the rooster. So I told her, oh my goodness. So, I was sorry to hear about the neighbor, but he's doing great now. And she said they were trying to catch him, the rooster, to give to her sister-in-law. And I said, well, he really likes it here, and he's really attached to the hens. I said, is there any way that we could just have him? And she was like, sure, it would save her a lot of a lot of stress from trying to catch them. So we let them hang out for a few more days, and then Steve went out, because it's always good when you get chickens to don't introduce the flocks with any other chicken, because they could carry a disease or something. Keep them separated for a few weeks. And so that's what we had done. And Steve went out one day and opened up the door on the run, and Romeo strutted in. And of course the hens all welcomed him, and he has been a great rooster. We're very thankful for him. So when our younger hens got old enough to start having to laying eggs, Romeo, of course, accepted them and fertilized the eggs for them. Well, as I told you, we already knew that a lot of the breeds of chickens that we had are not prone to go broody, because it's kind of been bred out of them. But I had read that Buff Orpingtons actually do go broody, and so we kind of thought, you never know, we'll wait and see. Well, as you know, we did have one Butter, or Butterscotch, or whatever you want to call her. She went broody. Well, I will say the bad thing on our part, even though I had watched many videos and read a lot of information, and I'm even on several groups on social media, I still thought I would just let nature take its course, and I wasn't going to bother with her eggs, and I wasn't going to mark them, and I didn't like the idea of a permanent marker being on the egg, afraid that it would hurt the baby chick. And I will say that was a bad mistake on my part. Now, she had been sitting on at least one egg for 4 or 5 days now. And the reason I say it's bad on my part, and I just want to share this with you, is that they carry eggs under their chin. So she has been over in some of the other nesting boxes and apparently taken some eggs. Well, now we don't know which is the 2 that she originally had. And it's been like all these days later. So I'm not sure when her cycle of brooding is going to end. The chicks cannot hatch until they're 21 days old. Sometimes they will hatch a day or 2 early, but most of the time it is 21 days. And she's been sitting, like I said, on at least 2 of those eggs, and I figured that they would be hatching on the 20th of this month of May. Well, today she's got 4 or 5 that she's sitting on. So now we're not sure which one she started with, which one that she had stolen from another of her, flock. We don't know. So I don't have a bright enough flashlight. So I am going to be purchasing a flashlight, a real bright one. Matter of fact, our son has one that is super bright, and that would work perfect, because you want to hold the egg and then candle it, they call, and once you see that it has been fertilized, you'll see the egg sac in there at the top, and eventually you'll see the veining and all that of the chick inside of that egg. So now I'm going to have to do that, and I'm going to have to mark them, because like I said, out of the 4 or 5, there might only be 2. And, I don't want her sitting on another 3 or 4 eggs that either have not been fertilized, or they might be fertilized and they're not going to be hatching out until 4 or 5 days after her original 2. So usually a hen will have a what they call a clutch, which is 10 to 12 eggs, and that's usually what they sit on. Well, I don't know if it's because our little girl, it's her first time going broody or not, but she had only chose to sit on 2. So therefore, that's why I should have went ahead and marked those 2, and I didn't. So please learn from my mistake. But let's go ahead and talk about some broody hens for a while and some of the things they do. Like I already shared, they do carry their eggs underneath of their necks. Now, I had heard before that they carry them under their wings. They can't do that. Their wings are not strong enough. They will put their wings over top of the eggs to keep them extra warm, but they can't physically carry them from nesting box to nesting box. So if you have eggs that are being moved, more than likely, Mama is carrying and stealing her sister hen's eggs, and she's carrying them under her neck. Another thing that you might see is sometimes they will be losing some of their fur, like the downy type of fur that is on their chest and belly. They will actually pull some of that out, and that is to help make the nest comfortable and warm. Because of course, just like if you had an incubator and you were taking the fertilized eggs and putting them in an incubator and letting the chicks hatch in there, well, the mama hens are the incubator. They are nature's incubators. They know exactly how to adjust the temperature. Now, I will say chickens naturally have a higher temperature than humans and a lot of other animals. But when they go broody, their temperature actually goes up. So that way it's going to help their eggs to form and be able to hatch on the 21st day. So that's really a neat thing to know, that nature, if you just watch and listen and learn, it is so awesome and amazing how God created all of these things to be able to produce their own young, and they know exactly how to take care of them, regardless if they're taught or not, because all of my chickens have been bought from a store. They were not raised by their mommy hens. So it's just something that is still, it was bred into them originally, and now it is still instilled in some of the breeds. So if you're looking for chicken breeds that are going to probably, pretty much on a good bet, are going to go broody, I personally would go with the Orpingtons, like our two buffs. One of them went broody, the other one didn't. Is that once the mama goes broody, she'll go broody regardless if the eggs are fertilized or not. And once she goes broody, she no longer lays eggs, because she has got to, she's got to keep all of her energy. And, they lose weight because they're not eating as much, they're not drinking as much. They are sitting on that clutch, in a 24-hour day, they're only getting off maybe once a day to run and eat and drink. And it's funny because they actually run. They will run to the food dish or run to the water pan, and they want to get it done and maybe go poop and then run back onto their eggs. And that's what ours has been doing. Now, while the mama hen is gone, it seems like there's always one of the other hens in there bothering her eggs, not breaking them. We have had one break, unfortunately. They will go in there and sit on her eggs, and sometimes you will have one hen that will do that, sort of almost like a helper to the mommy hen. But ours, it's always somebody different. They'll go run in there and go sit on those eggs, and then she comes in and has a fit. And I showed you that growling that she does, only it's really loud, and she really gets angry until they get off, and then she'll get back on her nest, her clutch of eggs. Now, if you have a hen that goes broody, it is a hormonal thing. And like I said, a lot of it has been bred out of chickens. Steve to the rescue. He found some chain, and we put it up there, and now it's perfect. They haven't tried it out. They're kind of checking it out, but they haven't tried it, so we will see. All right, let's check on Butter. She's our broody hen. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, and she'll probably look at me. I'm then going to try and touch her, pet her. You'll hear her kind of growl. Oh, we got a red in there laying too. Oh, she's not even going to look. Did you see her puff up in that growl? Hold on, I'm trying to get the camera. Butter! Hey, pretty girl. Oh, goodness. Steve already put about a cup of mealworms in with Butter, so she'll be doing good. That way she can just stay right on her little nest and eat her some protein. If you have any questions at all, If I forgot something that you were wondering, leave me a comment below and I will do my best to answer it. If I don't know the answer, I'll find the answer for you. Have a great day. Thanks everybody for watching, and God bless you all.